Perspective. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Holy Perspective. I've got a trade recap for you guys today. This is one of the strategies that I trade. This is a rejection block strategy with gold. I primarily trade two assets, which are gold and NASDAQ and Q. And I'm not gonna lie, gold has been treating me pretty well lately, better than NASDAQ, I would say. It's easy for me to scalp 5 points, and I'm gonna go over the strategy that I personally trade that has been consistent for me. I primarily trade this during Asia session. I haven't tested it in New York except once or twice. It does work well in New York, but you have to be careful because there's a lot more volume and New York session is volatile. But without further ado, here we go. Let's go back. So this was taken on the 14th, Wednesday at 6, which technically would have been the 15th today open. And so what's today? Thursday. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. We'll go back. All right. So here I was. It's about 6:30. I always like to give it a few minutes upon the market open before I take a trade, so that way I can get an idea of the trend and where the price action wants to go. Now, a thing I like to identify with gold is I would call them rejection zones. And so here's how I do that. So upon market open, which in this case was Asia, well, first of all, we could see already right off the bat on the 1 minute that we're very bearish, right? We're selling off right at the open. This is the 6 p.m. candle. We're selling off like crazy. The other thing I want to know is that on the 15-minute, I like to identify what are called rejection zones. You can see it here. So what are rejection zones? If you pay attention here, these are zones where price action tends to wick out of. If you look, a lot of wicks basically along this key level, which is 46119 basically. So what I'll do is I'll go to the charts, I'll identify a key area where price tends to reject a lot, and I'll mark that out. Okay. Then I went to the 5-minute, and similar story. I'm looking at rejection zones. Now for the 5-minute, I'm using that more for refining my entries, right? Typically, I would use 15 minutes, 1 hour rejection zones to get an idea of where price tends to react. And then I'd use the 5-minute and 1 minute rejection zones for my entries. So in this case, I realized that price tended to go to around 4622 and then reject off of there. All right, so if we go back historically, we could also see price react to this zone right over here, right? We tend to see price either use it as support or resistance. Beautiful. So now we go down to the 1 minute. I want to find my entry. So I know we're bearish. I definitely want to take a short. So with gold, you want to go with the trend. And so we have our 5-minute rejection zone. Whoops. We have our 5-minute rejection zone. I don't know why I can't copy text sometimes, bro. Like here it is. Boom. 5-minute rejection zone. And then we have our 15-minute rejection zone right here. Beautiful. Now, I'm also looking at the 1 minute. I want to refine my entry even more. So looking at price action, I can see that price is rejecting kind of around this area. And so sometimes I like to enter. Sometimes I'm impatient, so I enter a little bit before price reaches the 5-minute rejection zone. Because I find at times that price doesn't test these areas, but it'll sell off before getting there. So I don't mind taking a more aggressive entry. So here's what I did. I kind of waited and I set a limit order, and I said, so watch price action. So we see price action coming up. So I'm telling myself, I definitely want a short, but where would I want my entry to be? So I set my entry somewhere here. So I set my sell limit here. But anyway, my idea was I would sell right around here and target 5 points, right? So actually, I entered right around here. Okay, why did I enter here? because I can see historically, again, we are rejecting this zone, right? We are rejecting this area right here. You could see with these wicks. So because of that, I'm going to mark that area out on the 1 minute now. And I typically enter a little bit above the zone. So in this case, I would set my limit order at 4620. And I'm just coasting, right? I'm waiting for price to get to my order. So I'm waiting. And do I get filled? Boom. All right. I get filled right here. Okay. I get filled. Now, after I get filled, I'm going to set my take profit. Here's the key with gold, guys. You want to set your take profit 5 points and your stop loss 5 points. Why? That's just a range that I found that gold likes to travel before reversing, right? That's just how gold works and how it works for me. So I got in. I'm going to be in drawdown. Now keep in mind, Asia session, you're going to see some stagnation. You're going to see some movement back and forth. It's going to be slow movement, right? But we'll see what happens. Actually, I got filled all the way over here. So let me move that. So boom, boom. You'll see there's going to be some gaps. But eventually, especially at like the 8 p.m. open or when it gets close to that, price tends to go towards the draw, or you get to see large movements. So there you go. I took my trade. I took my 5 points, and then you can see right after that, price, boom, catapults to the upside. But notice what happens. Price gets to the 5-minute rejection zone, and it rejects off of it, right? What happens here? The 15-minute rejection zone. You can see that it's a key area where price reacts out of. You see all these wicks? Could have potentially taken a long, boom, scalped some a couple points there. So keep an eye out for these zones. And boom. See, if I could have again taken the same short here. I could have entered off of the 5-minute and then sold off 5 points. I would be chilling. Anyways, thought I'd share this with you guys. This is one of the strategies I trade. Coming at you with a little bit of sauce. Rejection blocks, rejection zones. And yeah, quick update from me. I was able to secure a payout from daily accounts with Funded Next. I have a Discord in the description, and I'll leave it in the comments if you guys want to join, if you want to learn how to trade, get a little bit more acquainted with my strategy, tips and tricks and that sort of thing. Join up on the Discord. Anyway, God bless you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. I'll catch y'all next time. God bless. Stay holy. Peace.